a nobody. I could take him
He's a
pretty
bum.
easy. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
I can focus all my time on making this a big fight, selling the tickets.
Sell the tickets, make it about me, kind of like how Jake Paul did with Mike Tyson.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Just to, just to get the numbers.
exactly, exactly. And so,
Thank you for downloading our recent episode. For more episodes like this, go to movieguyspodcast.podbean.com for more episodes. Enjoy the show.
No, you're not going to do that.
I'll show my hand early. I think the Rocky franchise started at a very high point and then just started to
Right.
go down sharp after every single
No.
movie. Listen, I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. I know that
Yeah.
Clubber Lane is a popular character. Obviously,
Right.
Drago is going to be a big popular character too. Um,
Hmm.
and whoever the hell that Machine Gun Kelly or whatever his name is,
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. Hey,
Tommy Gun.
just so everybody knows, we have our brand new retrospective series for season 10. This is another one of Eric's picks. I think you picked Buddies last year, too. You've had 2 picks in a year, bud.
Oh man, I'm on a hot streak. Yeah,
You're on a
yeah.
hot streak.
Well, what did you? I suggested sport movies, and you wanted to
Right.
do. What was your suggestion?
I was thinking early 2000s. I was thinking disaster.
Oh, was it disaster or like action movies?
Oh, it was action. I'm sorry, not disaster. Yeah, action. I was thinking, yeah, action movies. We will review Last Boy Scout at one point. We, I keep on trying to get that in there. But I thought for next year, I thought about some other ones. I thought about Monster, like King Kong, Godzilla, if you will.
Oh, okay, yeah. I feel like
Monster movies.
this is an effort to expand our horizons a bit more, review movies that we normally would never have a chance to review. And I feel
Right.
like sport movies are not necessarily obscure, but very niche, just because
Hmm.
a lot of them are feel good, a lot of them are underdog stories, and a lot of them start from the bottom and then you go up. So
Like the
I
Drake song.
exactly. I wanted to really pick apart a lot of these sport movies that we're going to be talking about. And the one rule for this retrospective was a sport movie in no repeats of the sport. So this is
Right.
boxing. We're only doing one boxing movie. We're only doing one football movie. We're only doing one hockey movie, etc., etc.
Thank God there's 11 sports we can choose from.
We had to dig deep. We got some figure skating and
Yeah.
Iditarod in there as well too.
I was upset. I thought we were going to do a tennis movie. I don't want to watch Billie Jean King. But
We got
we're here.
challengers, right?
I'm surprised you're not doing Blaze of Glory for our ice hockey.
Or
For
King
our figure
King
skating.
Richard for tennis.
Yeah, that would have been more modern. But we're here talking about Rocky. Um, Big cult classic. Like, not cult classic. I'm sorry. Why did I say that? Big classic. This movie's huge. Where was Sylvester Stallone in his career before Rocky? I know, in the gutter. I mean, like, there's that famous thing that's online that he did or he was in pornographic films before. He was also in a terrible role in Death Race 2000,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like this guy, he wrote this movie. Like, I mean, did he write something that was bad and then somebody was like, hey, there's something here, and then they had professionals do it? Or did this guy, Sylvester Stallone, actually write this movie?
He is a solo writer on this movie.
He's a better writer than anything else because this movie is perfect, flawless. This is Godfather territory, right? I mean, Rocky is so huge, right?
Listen,
Like, this
yeah,
is big.
it is obviously cemented in pop culture history no matter what. There are a few movies where if you quote a line, then people know automatically what it is. I'm King of the World. You know exactly what movie that is. And on this one, no different. Hadrian, just by, not
Mhm.
even a sentence, just by screaming out a name.
Or just, hey yo,
Now you're just doing an
eggs.
impression.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was big, man. I mean, we were not born when this came out, of course, right? But my introduction to Rocky, I believe 97, 98, so 10, 11 years old. And the first Rocky movie I saw was Rocky 4.
Sure.
That was my introduction to Rocky.
Okay, that's a movie.
It's a movie, but it's perfect for somebody that's 10, 11 years old who's never seen a Rocky movie before. I'm dealing with this with my daughter right now because she wants to see Star Wars, but I refuse to show her out of order the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've had this discussion off air.
It's a tough call.
And showing her A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back so far has just been a chore.
Yeah.
I mean, especially A New Hope. I love A New Hope, but for an 8-year-old girl, so I can understand why young me in '97 flocked to Rocky 4. But then, I started to realize, that there's more to this franchise. I didn't pay attention to the box art, Eric. I didn't see Rocky 4. I just saw this muscle-bound guy with America everywhere defeating the Russians.
Of course you did. Yeah.
That's all you saw.
That's what that movie is.
That in a montage. But so I do want to talk about the franchise, but we're here talking about Rocky as well. Of course, we've seen this movie before, right? This is your stereotypical movie, but where the hero is nothing and he ends up something at the end. But that movie wasn't really popular back then, right? Like movie-going audiences wouldn't see a movie like this as they would nowadays. So this movie hit home a lot, I think, for a lot of people, right? And it's hard not to root for Rocky in this movie. This guy. Okay, I'm just going to ask because I'm trying to be PC. Does this guy have a mental problem? Is he written as a little slow?
No, I don't think he's written that way. He's just a boxer,
No, boxers don't talk like that. Jake Paul don't talk like that.
Buddy, if you want to get into that, he might be the special needs character. Anyway, no, I think this is just more of a Sylvester Stallone, that he's just kind of like this blue collar tough guy, like a meathead, rather than it being anyone that's sort of slow or anything like that. I think I've said it before that there's a difference between being smart and intelligent, and this guy is just smart. He's a savvy street guy, and he's just trying to make a living. He's just trying to do what he knows, and one thing he knows is how to box, right? And him and his buddy Paulie are just going through life in the streets of Philadelphia, kind of a thing. And by the way, when you say yes, we have seen movies like this before, because movies like this sport movies were popular. I mean, heck, The Longest Yard was 2 years before this movie. So sport movies are common, and they always have been common. And then a movie like this came out even more recently in the rebrand. Creed is basically the same movie.
Right.
Even to the ending, right? Obviously, there's some mixes of the family in there, but it's close to it, and I think that's a big reason why it was considered successful. But
what I mean is not just a sport, but I mean just this. Take sport out of it. Just this guy who's kind of down on his luck, middle class to lower class kind of guy, and rising to the top or be successful. Like Rudy was 20 years after this movie, right? I mean, that's what I'm getting at. Of course, it's hard to review a movie like this because what can you really say bad about it? Mickey is just great. The only thing negative I would say is I don't really believe Rocky and Adrian's relationship until we get to the later sequels. Like this relationship of theirs seems kind of forced because it was a setup, right? It was nobody would date Paulie's sister, so why don't you take her on a date? Hey, yo, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like Rocky was kind of the same way, where he's not really, again, a smart guy, but he's not also very charismatic, but he seems to be himself around Adrian. He seems to kind of bring it up. And maybe that's the there are not too many things that I could say that don't age well in the movie, but one of them might just be the interactions, kind of how he treats Adrian or how Paulie does it sometimes. It does seem to be a bit disrespectful at times, but again, that just could be the characters. It could just be, I don't want to say that's how it was back then. I think it's more so. It could have been, but it's also a thing. Not the treatment, but also a part of the movie that I really enjoy. This kind of period, this gritty Midwest city heat. I just enjoy it. These concrete blocks. It paints a story, kind of a thing. I almost feel like Bruce Springsteen just gonna pop out the corner and start singing a song.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Detroit.
Yeah, it really is. Again, just that Midwestern industrial town, man, of just
went down
workers,
the tubes,
man. Yeah,
it just went down the tubes. Of course, my opinion, the most famous scene of the movie is when, no pun intended, Rocky starts pounding the meat.
Yeah,
right. That was fun. I mean, it's just. I will never complain about Rocky. I will complain about the franchise as we go. But this movie, a guy that it starts with him fighting, finding out who he is, and then Apollo. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So Apollo wants to fight somebody to show his toughness, wants to show his street cred, right?
What Apollo? He has a title bout in Philly for the
heavyweight championship.
Yeah, for the bicentennial.
Right.
But the guy that he's supposed to fight had to back out because of an injury.
Right. So now he has to find somebody that is a pushover, a scrapper, but somebody that's not going to win the fight, that will make Apollo look good, but not challenge him. A bum, if you will.
I think this is a big part of, like, remember The Great White Hype? Remember that movie with Damon Wayans?
No.
Another part, it's a boxing movie kind of thing, and that's almost like a satire almost of this, because you have the professional boxer in that movie, and then you have the up-and-comer, and everyone's rooting for the underdog. Everyone loves a Cinderella story. Everyone loves someone who's going to make it up. But then the champion seems to be more focused on the business promotion side of things than they are of actually training. And that's what I get in this movie, is that Apollo isn't so much worried about the fight, because just like you said, he wants just the small fry, and he figures, oh, well, I'm the pro. This guy's a nobody. I could take him pretty easy. Yeah, and so I can focus all my time on making this a big fight, selling the tickets.
Sell the tickets, make it about me, kind of like how Jake Paul did with Mike Tyson.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
just to get the numbers.
Exactly. And so he stumbles across Rocky Balboa at a small-time gym, who's working as a collector, right, for a loan shark.
And also, well, I mean, like, I made the joke about pounding meat, but doesn't he get a job with Paulie doing the meat factory too?
I think he helps out, right? But remember, like, he and Paulie have a falling out because Paulie wanted to be with him ringside.
Right.
And Rocky's like, no, you can't do it, Paulie. You gotta do it. And so Paulie got real pissed about that. And to make amends, Rocky said, like, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll have the meatpacking place sponsor me, and I'll wear the name, basically to sponsor him, give him the promo.
Every time that I watch this movie, of course, us being Simpson fanatics, I think about the time that Homer fought Jedrick Tatum.
Tatum.
And he comes out, why can't we be friends?
Yeah.
Because I think he's wearing the Rocky trunks that he wears in this movie, like the white with the red stripe,
I would imagine his wife would die of grief.
Kid Gorgeous, Kid Ugly,
Oh,
Boxcar,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that was great.
Then was just Mo.
So this is where like Apollo challenged, and then like Mickey, right? The Penguin himself from the OG Batman TV show is like, listen here, Rock, you can't win. You gotta eat thunder and crap lightning. You know, you gotta do it, right? Now this is fun. So I have not seen OG Rocky in quite some time, right? Because once you see it a bunch of times, I forgot that he doesn't get the Eye of the Tiger until part 3.
Yeah,
That's one of those Mandela effects in a way, right?
it. Really is.
Because I was waiting for Mickey to say, "Yeah, you got the Eye of the Tiger, Rock. Jump, you run up those steps," And he's like, that doesn't happen. Eye of the Tiger comes in part 3, and I was like, oh my god, like, okay.
So
I was waiting for that.
Is that kind of an issue? Is that a lot of these movies, 1, 2, and 3, kind of blend in with each other for the most part?
But I'm not saying that as a negative, though. I'm saying it as a positive. The reason why I say it as a positive is because I feel that the first 3 are pretty tight. Like if they, and of course in a perfect world, right? If they don't make 4, 5, 6, and 12, if they just did 1, 2, 3,
Sure.
it would be a pretty darn good trilogy, because it just makes sense, the growth. Let's talk about the franchise a little bit with that, right? You get Rocky, who's a down and out lower class guy who is not expected to go toe to toe with the champ, takes him all the way to the final round, and the champ barely wins, right? Just by a hair, right?
Yeah.
Part 2, the
In
champ's
a split
upset.
decision.
Right. Champ's upset. He's embarrassed. This bum should not have done anything. This is where also I like part 2 a lot, because in part 2 you find out that Rocky can't read too good and he can't do commercials, so he loses deals, and he spends money on cars and fancy clothes, and he's not really understanding what he has, right? And he has to fight so he can survive, and then he eventually wins. And then in part 3 he's now the millionaire, and he has to fight Hulk Hogan, for show, like Apollo Creed would fight Rocky for show in the first movie, right?
Yep.
But then is tested by this young up-and-comer to have to retain it. Great trilogy.
And then he loses his money again in Rocky 5, right?
Because of Paulie. Don't you know that? I went on YouTube and I read this. Paulie is a POS, dude. Do you know this plot line in Rocky 5 and how he lost all of his money?
Go ahead. No.
In Rocky 4, this is not mentioned in Rocky 4. It's mentioned at the beginning of Rocky 5. In Rocky 4, Paulie bets all of Rocky's money that he would lose to Judger Tatum. I mean, Dolph Lundgren. I said this is a joke. You got that?
Yeah.
So he lost. He bet all of Rocky's money because he was in charge of Rocky's money. Because Rocky ain't thinking too good. So when he beats Dolph Lundgren, Drago, and he comes back to the States, you don't have any money.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No. I caught a YouTube recap of Rocky 5, and I'm not about to watch that movie again. I don't even know if I watched it all the way in the first one, to be honest, the first time through, to be honest with you. But Burt Young is the guy who plays Paulie, and he is basically a typecasted person throughout his entire career. Good for him. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but he's plays that kind of that intimidating look, tough guy kind of thing, right?
Well, what I'm trying to say, without being so philosophical, I guess is the word, is that Paulie's the villain of this franchise. I mean, like, and Rocky still stays with him all the way to Rocky 6.
Yeah, exactly. Paulie completely takes advantage of him and feels guilty. He's jealous. He's jealous of him in the first one.
Of course he is. And then he bets all of Rocky's money, which egg on Rocky's face, because you should never put him in charge of his money, that he would lose to the Russians. And Paulie was in his corner the entire fourth movie.
His family, you know.
You know, you gotta drive her hard.
Listen, you say egg on his face, but listen, Rocky's got a problem. He let his son get an earring like that, and I that's unforgivable here, buddy.
Bad form that his son in part 5 was his actual son who's no longer with us. Ooh.
Sage.
Is it Sage who's dead? Sage is dead now, right?
Sage Stallone, yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
He gone.
Probably had an infection from the earring.
Yeah. He died 2012 at the age of 36.
Oh my God, we're older than him.
Yep. Crazy, huh?
That's unfortunate. I knew going into this review that A, it may not be long, but B, it's so hard not to talk about the other movies and where the characters go because, I mean, the franchise is so popular and so beloved. I mean, to sit here and just pick apart the first movie is kind of hard, right?
But what more is there to talk about the first movie? There's just a lot of training, a lot of montage, and then in between that, there's him building up the relationship with Adrian, right? And then having a conflict with Paulie a bit more. I mean, it's all building up to the climax, which is the fight with Apollo Creed, which takes up a good portion of this movie.
Which I did not know that was a big chunk, right? Because it always seems like it goes by so fast, right? But it's a big chunk of the movie. You're right. But like, I don't think, and I don't know if you're going to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think Rocky 1 has the most iconic scenes, right? It has the running up the library steps, the stairs.
It has the original Adrian.
Right. And it has, yo, Adrian, has that.
It has the look. It has him because he has to, his eye has to get cut because it's so swollen.
Cut me, Mick. Can't see. Yeah, right. So has him drinking raw eggs in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got a lot of that. I mean, remember Brisk Iced Tea? Like they did a parody of this scene here too. This is again one of those very iconic scenes, and I feel like all the other ones aren't as iconic. Like maybe Rocky 4 when Drago hits gloves, you will die.
Yeah. Well, if he dies,
he dies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that's pretty iconic as well too. But I don't know. This one's got a lot of big parts, man. Just the attitude of Creed of going in dressing up as Uncle Sam. Right, and that all American flag get up here too. Just the cockiness of it's great. Him saying there ain't gonna be no rematch. Is like
no rematch.
That's pretty iconic as well too.
That's him being scared of him. I gotta talk about the race though, right?
Of course.
I'm trying. So I don't know how to say it, but like
Italian Stallion.
Well, like
is that the race you're talking about?
No, yeah, but I'm trying to. I'm trying to be an educational here, but I'm not doing it well. Do you think that Rocky being Italian white and Apollo being black says something about the society in the 70s? This came out in what, 74, 75?
76.
76. So, I mean, would this have? This is an opinion. This is your opinion. I'm just asking. Like, would this have hit differently for people back in 76? Like, wealthy black guy beating up a white guy. Like, do this racial class where the white guy's poor and the black guy's rich, Like, do you think that movie's trying to go there? Or do you think the movie doesn't care?
No, I don't think that movie is. At least I didn't see it that way. I don't know if it's just because
I don't either. I'm just asking.
Exactly, but I think in this, I don't think people like to think that back then, in like the 70s, like there was a lot more like of this kind of racism that was going around. And listen, I can't speak for those times. I cannot, and I can pretend like it's I don't, but. Pop cultural, like I get to look back then versus now, and I feel like maybe we're not as quick to joke about it now than we are back then. But this movie isn't so much of isn't a race thing. I don't think it's a race thing at all. I think it's more of a class thing. I think it's more of an attitude where the 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 famous, popular, well-to-do money is overly confident that they can beat the poor.
Okay, yeah, because I actually see the same thing. But, to prepare for the review, I did some digging. And this is some kid's college thesis paper. You know what I mean?
Listen,
Like,
yeah,
I
I'm
was
sure
curious.
you
I
could.
was curious if you agreed.
Sure,
So.
sure. And I get what you're saying. Like you can easily put those lenses on and watch that movie as that. I'm sure it's that, but I don't think Rocky or I'm thinking Sylvester Stallone, as talented as a writer as some may think he is, and that I don't think he's really putting that extra layer into the script. I could be wrong, and I'm sure later on in an interview he could probably completely admit something that made me look a fool. But I think this is more so just because Carl Weathers is ripped. And he's just got that charisma, man. Carl Weathers is come on, man. He's
Crozer, yeah.
the guy. We all know.
This movie
Come on,
was
Predator, right?
well, Dylan, son of a bitch.
Oh man, right? I mean, you talk about a meme that lives in
Pythons.
pop culture. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this movie is racist. I think this movie is raceless. Like I know that's not a word, but I don't think race matters. I just think that damn good actors for what they were doing were in the movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it had anything to do with race. I 100% agree with you. I was just curious if you thought differently than I did. So
No, yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. And again, putting that race lens on, I think you could probably pick apart Italian Americans more than. But again, we're digging up into something that it doesn't need to be dug up.
we're going way deeper than what Sylvester Stallone thought, right? But this is not just a made up story. And Sylvester Stallone said, right? This is based off of, or is that an urban legend? This is based off of a real boxer named Rocky Maivia, right? Is that what it is? No, it's based off of a real boxer.
Is it now?
That's what I would.
I'm doing some trivia here to see if I can pull it up here because there's a lot of good, interesting picks about this because when the film was purchased, Sylvester Stallone was not the first pick to play Rocky. Did you know that?
Who would be in 76? Who would it be in 76? Jeff Bridges? No.
No, older. You're talking about like Robert Redford, Burt Reynolds, Nick Nolte, James Caan.
Robert Redford would have been good.
I think that would have been something.
Right. So they wanted an older guy. So the script called for an older guy to play Rocky.
Well, you say that they're older, but like at the time, these guys in the 70s weren't. I don't know. They're not.
These 30-year-olds in the 70s looked like they were 60, dude. These people had some hard living. They don't look like us.
Man, the 70s in Philadelphia, buddy. I mean, as soon as you're born, you're looking 25.
You're 40 and you still look like you did 10 years ago, big guy.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like smoking cigarettes was mandatory back then too.
I think you came out and it was either Camel or Marlboro. Choose your pick.
Rocky Marciano.
Rocky Marciano. This is based off of that. Now, I don't think Rocky Marciano had this Apollo Creed type. Maybe he did. I don't know. But like this is what it was based off.
Rocky is not the character's actual name. His real name is Robert Balboa. This was seen in a rough script for the second film. He took the nickname from real-life boxer Rocky Marciano. As far as if it's the story was written off of that, I don't see anything as of yet.
So that's the urban legend that screwed up. Is that his name was Sylvester Stallone's character's name was Robert Balboa, but he took the name Rocky because of a real-life boxer named Rocky.
Yeah, and I guess there's a lot of they
similarities.
They wanted like a lot of heavyweight cameos to come in here, and a lot of the influence to put around that. A lot of story that built around behind it. But I guess only Joe Frazier was the one that to put any input into the film. But it worked well, obviously, because Frazier is he's a resident of Philadelphia, and just apparently helped out with a lot of the boxing terms and moves and everything else like that. So it worked out in the long run.
I have one last question before we get into our end popcorn rating with Rocky. My last question is, knowing this movie, not just the franchise, but this movie, is it better that it comes to a draw at the end? Not a draw, but by a split decision? Or should have Rocky won in this movie? Because sequels were not really a thing. They were, but they weren't as popular as they are now. Would this movie would it have been better if Rocky won, do you think?
I asked myself the same thing with Creed. Like, I understand in the movie what they're going for is that maybe he didn't get the actual W on the paper, but he won the respect. He overcame the expectation that was so low that he impressed everyone watching, and that's worth something, I guess. I don't know.
Would it have been better to have him hoist this title at the end instead of Rocky 2, as he gets into Rocky 2?
I don't know. I think that I don't think so. I think that this movie has that charm and maybe even a bit of realism because he didn't win. You know what I mean? If I say it like that, because the Creed had done it the same way too, where it seemed like there was expectation that was supposed to be favored heavily for the one opponent, and even Apollo in this movie, again, thought he was just going to be kind of dancing and making a spectacle of the whole thing, and then there was that moment where he gets popped a few different times. He's just like, "Oh, geez, all right, I'm going to have to tighten up the gloves here. Yeah, I'm actually going to have to work here." And they go the full 15, right?
They do. So I guess I want you to live in a world where I am right now, where the sequels don't exist. We live in a world where this movie happened once and once only. Okay? Knowing that, in this make-believe world, should Rocky have won the title?
So my short answer, my quick answer to that is no. I like the way that it ends right now. I don't know if it's just harder for me to imagine a movie where he wins, but also I think because I've seen so many sport movies where the person overcomes and does win kind of thing and overcome at the end, it almost seems just kind of cliche and an eye roll a bit. But at the same part, having him, as I say it to you now, having him shock Apollo into fighting for real, having him go the full 15, having him still stand after getting beat pretty hard by Apollo, man, and not go down, like, that shows a lot of heart. And I think actually, again, as I'm saying it, that shows more. That's probably why that scene, the fighting scene, goes for so long, is because it really shows you Rocky. It shows you Balboa, and that he is not just a fighter with punches, but a fighter in spirit too. That he doesn't want to give up, and I think that's what it was trying to show in the beginning of the movie too. That whatever he's doing is just fighting for survival, and this is kind of the same way.
So with that, then, a popcorn rating, it's obvious, right? Rocky is a large for me. I'm assuming it's a large.
Yeah,
for me
it's
too.
a large. I wouldn't say the same for
Right.
the other ones, especially the 2000s one, the Rocky Balboa, which is essentially, what is that, Rocky 6?
Rocky 6, and I'm sorry, but for some reason, when we talk Rocky 6, we talked about it off air. She died of the woman's cancer. Just makes me laugh every time.
She died of cancer.
Yeah.
Also, I got cancer too, Creed.
Yeah, what does that mean? Does that mean ovarian? Does that mean breast cancer? What does that mean?
It's funny that you brought up Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, because that's basically what happens in Balboa.
That's 100% what happens in Balboa.
Yeah, because that movie is essentially ESPN doing a computer kind of turn up, like what it would peak Rocky Balboa be able to beat the new up and comer, whatever his name is now, bald guy now, and it shows that the new guy would win, right, or whatever the hell.
The new guy would win, but he would get his butt kicked by Rocky, and then he didn't like that. And then the end of the movie, he wins the current champ, but he gets his butt kicked by 60-year-old Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, which
doesn't happen with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson didn't throw a damn punch, which is amazing. He threw more punches, Mike Tyson did, in The Hangover than what he did in the fight with Jake Paul.
You could call. Well, the fix was in from the beginning. We all knew that.
Yeah, we all knew. That's why Netflix wasn't going. No, Rocky Balboa was really bad. So, I mean, like, it's a large across the board. We don't need to go in individuals, I guess you would say, right? But, like, 1, 2, and 3, I think, are flawless. I think very, very good. 4, she jumps the shark. Go back one day, Eric, and watch 4. There is no story. It goes for 10 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. And then we have a 5-minute montage. And then it goes for another 10 minutes, and then a 5-minute montage.
You need a montage.
You know, that's where they come from. Like that's what I said at the beginning of this episode with Hearts on Fire, that song. He fights with Adrian, and then he goes into his Ferrari, and he has that music video moment where he's driving, but he's thinking as he's driving while Hearts on Fire is playing, and then he's having memories of all the past Rocky events. It's like, what is happening? 5, I know critically and fans hate it. I kind of dig 5 a little bit. It's not great. 5 would get a small bag for me, simply because I like the idea that he's now back where he started from, and he's training somebody else to be the next big thing. I like that idea. Mm-hmm. They just perfected it in Creed. The first Creed.
Yeah, I think that's. I think he says that in Creed too, right? Where he's like he regrets that not being a family man, that he basically ignored his son. He didn't pay enough attention to Adrian, and he feels like he's doing a service by repaying it to Adonis Creed.
Yes. So they perfected what happened in Rocky 5 to that. So franchise iconic. It peaks at 1, I would say, though.
Oh, you know, absolutely. Listen, it was so successful that it obviously made Sylvester Stallone's career. I feel like he is still riding off of Rocky coattails because it sure as heck wasn't over the top. Okay.
Well, I mean, Rambo too.
Yeah, but Rambo is more of like right, like
do you remember?
Just the 80s. Listen, because Rocky and Rambo are basically the same kind of beat, where the first movie, awesome, and then the next movies are just basically the same thing. Keep on going. Is like, I feel like he's got bigger guns than Rambo, and he's got bigger gloves than Rocky. It just keeps on going. It's just like, what are we doing here, right?
Do you remember our review of Last Blood?
And then cliffhanger happens. Yeah, I do.
Oh my God, you and I were so mad.
Listen, nothing's going to beat, in my heart, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Fair enough. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us for this recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. We really hope you enjoy the new sports retrospective. Next month, we'll come out with another sport. We won't tell you what it is, but it's pretty obvious. It's winter, so put a winter sport into that category, right?
Yeah, listen.
We're not going to review football in January. Yeah, right.
It's not going to be Mighty Ducks, okay?
No. We already did that a few years ago.
We did.
Eric, thanks so much for joining me. Check us out at Movie Guys Podcast at poppy.com. We'll be back next Thursday with another awesome episode. Dos Padania. What a day, dude. Okay, Eric, our game. So I have 2. So you have a choice. Do you want to do two of them or just one of them? One is a top 10, one is a top 5. Your choice tonight for tonight's game.
We can do the top 10 again.
The top 10 again. All right. So the top 5 we'll do next week, okay?
Sure.
Rank these 90s/early 2000s stores without knowing what comes next.
Okay.
So these are stores that were huge, like retail stores that were huge in the 90s and early 2000s. They're not around anymore. Rank these in your, okay, ready?
I totally am, yes.
Okay, Radio Shack.
Oh, geez. And this is 90s. Just are they just specifically like restaurants or just all like retail or what?
This is all retail stores. They're no longer available anymore. You can't go to them. But these is stores that were huge in the 90s and early 2000s. And the first one is Radio Shack. Oh. And the first one is Radio Shack. We're bad. How about now? We're good?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, we're good. So, technical difficulties, everybody. It's fun. I'm already 6 years in. Radio Shack, where do you put it?
Radio Shack, I guess, is I guess a 5. It's a pretty common one. I'll do Radio Shack at 5. Listen,
what do you mean by common though?
That I have used it. It's not like someplace I'm going to go to get like a DVD player or something like that. Mm-hmm. Radio Shack is where I would go to because I need a very specific type of dongle adapter. And it doesn't seem like any of the big places have it. It seems like Radio Shack has like that weird, very foreign type of adapter that converts like, I can't even tell you the port to port kind of a thing, but yeah, I think I used it before to plug in my when I had, remember those tape decks, the tapes where you had the wire coming out and it had the kind of the headset jack, the 3mm jack.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then I had a dongle that converted the 3mm jack to my Crazer flip phone.
Okay.
So that I could play music off of my Crazer flip phone into my car.
All right. Okay, so 5 for you. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
It just seemed like it was, you know what, Radio Shack was the place you went to because you knew the manager who also you could buy batteries and maybe an eighth of weed.
Oh, yeah. I would say that would be the store to go besides this store. Kmart.
Oh, baby.
Where's Kmart ranked? I wish I had a pen on me. This night is so screwy. I don't care.
Listen, I appreciated Kmart. It is a garbage store though, and I'm going to put that at 7, only because I think I stole more from Kmart than I actually bought things from Kmart.
So here's the funny thing: I don't ever remember going to Kmart. I went to Kmart probably 2 or 3 times, but that's it. Like I never.
We had a few around by us, but dude, they were just like nobody cared in that store. And right. I think the majority of us went there just because it was a Little Caesars inside and you can get like the dollar slices.
Fair enough.
It's just a garbage store. And thank God for it because, you know, like you need them. You go up there. I don't know. I just had fun memories as a kid going up there and like, doing like the quarter machines and getting like some toys out of there, or like stealing my first Sour Patch Kids from Kmart. It's, yeah, you know, but listen, if you got close from Kmart, good luck, bud. Your ass is done for in school. It's not even funny.
Where do you put Kmart?
7.
Media Play.
I don't think I've ever been to a media play.
Okay, so that's a 10 then for you.
10,
Media
yeah.
play was big. Media play was big in my area.
Okay.
So, all right, fine. That's the media play. Okay. Sears.
Oh man, the original department store?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the original, but close to it. Sears is a man. I don't know. Sears is a solid 4, I guess. Like everything was at Sears. I remember getting lost at Sears.
I remember my grandfather buying a tractor from Sears.
You can get everything from Sears. You can get yourself some shoes, a pair of Dickies, and then you can go get some jewelry for the missus, and you can just get everything at Sears. It's solid. Go get your vents cleaned as well too. Make an appointment for that. I don't know. It was just a one-stop shop. So
now I have never been inside of the store ever in my life. I can say that. So I wear this as a badge of honor. But it's closed, and this was popular in the 2000s. Borders.
The books?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna put that at probably like a 2 or a 1. I'll do a 2.
1? 2? Borders?
I'll do it a 2. Listen, Borders was big over here, and then Barnes and Noble kind of was competing with it a lot. But there was a big one over here by the mall. And it was awesome, man. Like, it was just a huge bookstore. It had everything. You'd think it'd be like, as a kid, oh, books are kind of whatever. But, like, no, man, it was a cool area. They had a cool kids area. And then they had, like, a media area. They had, like, movies and, like, CDs. That was a hot thing. They had their own cafe with some real good drinks and some good sandwiches. Like, I think it was better than Panera even at one point. I like me some Borders, man. Like, I could spend a day at a Borders.
Okay. Blockbuster.
That's number 1. Easy. Stop it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Listen, that's a personal bias right there. I have spent countless hours. I'm sure that those hours went into days and weeks at a Blockbusters, man. Big nostalgia. I did tournaments at Blockbuster. I don't know if you remember this or if anyone else remembers it, but like, video games were big at Blockbuster Rentals, and they used to do tournaments, segmented tournaments for certain games where you could rent out a game, and then you had X amount of days, like 3 days for the rental, and you could put a high score on it with your initials, and you had to do a certain kind of a thing, and you could turn it in, say, hey, I played for this game, and yeah, I did tournaments there for Mario Kart, for Mortal Kombat. It was, I love me some Blockbusters, man. I think I lost the Blockbusters before too.
I don't know if it was Blockbuster, but I have family that lives in Virginia, and Mortal Kombat 2 was popular, and I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 2 on my Sega at home, right?
We're the movie guys, man. Like, this was the original time where I would just go up and down the aisles and you'd judge a movie by its cover.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was down in Virginia visiting family, and I don't know if a Blockbuster did this. I don't know if it was that store. But Mortal Kombat 2 was huge, and the parents were all out, and my cousin needed to babysit me. And he was probably 20 years old at the time, and I was 9 or 10. And he said, what do you like to play? And I said, Mortal Kombat 2. He went to the local video store. I don't know if it was a Blockbuster, but you could rent the console with the game if you don't have the console. Was that a Blockbuster?
Yeah, you could do that. It wasn't all Blockbusters and it wasn't all consoles, but yeah. I'm sure the stores had done it as well too. I'll tell you what was really cool is that you could rent like Lethal Enforcers for Super Nintendo, and it came with a briefcase with 2 guns in it. And that one was real cool. I thought I was a gangster there for a moment.
Okay.
I was like, whoa, I didn't know it came with all this.
This one just closed. It was very popular in the 90s, but it's just closed now. Payless. Payless shoes.
Oh, man. As a kid, no. As an adult, yes.
Yeah.
So,
you got 3, 6, 8, and 9 available.
Yeah, I guess I could put Payless at 6. It seems like there's a lot of alternatives. Like, I'd probably go to a DSW before I go to a Payless.
Well, Payless isn't around anymore. They're closed.
Fair
They went
enough.
bankrupt.
Fair enough. But
Mhm.
a solid store. Listen, it's where else you gonna go to get some knockoff Nikes? Or I'm sorry, last year Nikes. Kind of a thing. So.
All right, so this one's kind of shocking me with you say Borders and Blockbuster because I don't know if it was big in your area, but Circuit City though. Where do you put Circuit City on this?
Oh, that was like a knockoff Best Buy.
Right, but so I didn't get Best Buy, so maybe you and I are looking at it differently. Because when I was a kid, in our area we would have Media Play, and across the street from Media Play was Circuit City. And the difference between Circuit City and Media Play was Circuit City would put speakers and neon lights and the sound system in your car for you. Media Play did everything but that. So when Fast and Furious came out, Jordan was at Circuit City more often.
Sure.
Circuit City was huge.
I'm going to put Circuit City at 8. It was huge, but it wasn't in my life. Like, it was around, but I feel like anything that they offered, there were other stores that just did it better for cheaper.
Okay. We got 2 left. We got 3 and 9. This one's pretty obvious. We're going to put Toys R Us, big guy.
That's number 3.
Yeah, right there. Toys R Us. And I don't know what they called it, number 9. In your area, in Detroit, my area, it was called Funko-Land. But it was, remember Funko-Land?
Yeah.
Yeah, Funko-Land was before GameStop.
Yeah, I did like a Funko-Land, and I'll tell you for 2 reasons. It was good for rare games. They would actually import games on request for me. So, one, I got a lot of Japanese import games from there. I got one for PlayStation called Rez. It was one of those that helped cause seizures in children, and so I had to get me some of that action. Still have it, by the way. It's a great game, kind of a techno type of game. The other one is that when I was a kid, I remember PlayStation had just come out. I really wanted a Final Fantasy VII, as did every kid, because it was like the big game. And I asked for it for Christmas, and my uncle, who had me for that year for the Christmas drawing, didn't know what the heck anything was, and he got me a game called Suikoden instead. And you looked at it, and it was like, thanks, but this game looks like crap. Final Fantasy was all 3D and polygons, and this game is like some 2D pixel crap. And like, this is, thanks for the effort. I hate it. I hate you so much. But divorced parents, we didn't really have a whole lot of games. And so PlayStation had like those demo games, right? And after I burned through all that and didn't have anything else to play, I said, all right, well, I'll pop this game in and see what it's all about. I guess I'm just bored enough to play it. Ends up being one of my favorite games of all time. This game is so good that my sisters would sit and watch me play it because it's basically like playing through a movie. And then I find out that it's like a huge part of like, is it Chinese or Japanese like lore history of like the 108 Stars of Destiny type of thing. It's this huge, beautiful story. Anyway, Suikoden 2 was going to come out, but it was going in Japanese import first, called Funko-Land. It's like, hey, can you get this game? They said, yes, we'll order it for you. He said, yes, I'll take it. It's like an extra $15-20 for the fee. And they said, okay. So I got it, and it was amazing. So thank you, Funko-Land, for all that crap and all the good times. I don't think I've ever been back since, because just like GameStop, there's always those kids in there who are just having a breakdown because their mom won't buy them a Pokemon Silver or Red or Gold or Red or Blue or whatever the hell it was.
Red or Blue.
And it's just like, man, you can tell the guy there is just like hates his life, and he's like, I just don't care.